G'day Kryptonites and welcome to another episode of Diary of a Crypto Noob. I'm your host, Sister Gold, and I would really like you to like, subscribe, bell button in that order. Or, you could go subscribe, like and bell button. But smash those things up, stroke them up, pat them up, dot them up, whatever you feel comfortable in doing. So what I'd like to talk to you about today, if you've watched my E and F video, I wanted to elaborate more on the exchange side of things. And I want to start off with a bit of a story about someone I know rang me up yesterday and was telling me about they have stocks, and I'm not going to tell you which one or anything like that. It's pretty irrelevant for the story, but this person has stocks and wanted to take some money out to pay for some things. There was a thing that they needed, and to actually, it was a breathing apparatus. They wanted to, to help them breathe when they sleep. So they wanted to take this money out of their investments. And I mean, let's face it, these are the sort of things we have investments for, is so that we can pay for our, our things in life that pop up, and also to be able to get ahead. I mean, look, nobody these days is getting ahead on a single wage. It's gotten to the point, back in the years ago, people could live on the husband's wage and the wife would stay home and all that. But the way that the currency has been devalued over the time, it's gotten so that two people in a family need to work, and it's getting to the point where they also need something on the side. That's really sad, because people are becoming basically not soldier, but they're becoming a slave to basically to life, like their current life. It's like they're trying to actually get ahead in life, but in order to get ahead in life, you've got to have no life, because you pretty much, you spend your time at work and then you go to your second job. And then by the time you come home, you're having people bring up, complete strangers bring up your kids, and there isn't that connection anymore. That family unity is dying because people have to work to pay for everything. I mean, if you put your kid in daycare, this is probably the saddest part of it. If you put your kid in daycare, that wage that you've made that day to have your kid in daycare is equivalent to what it costs you to put that kid in daycare. Like, what's the point? Like, if you're just going to work to put your kid in daycare, then you might as well stay home. There's no point in doing that. So people really are starting to have to look at other ways of making money on the side legally. Let's face it, we want to do it legally. We don't want to be, on the corner dishing out drugs or something like that, but it's gotten to the point where the dollar that we're making doesn't actually cover the cost of our lives. and also back then, things like telephone and electricity and internet, like there was no such thing of electricity was brought around in this last 100 years, that it became mainstream sort of thing. And the telephone, like I'm just going to show my age now. I remember when phones were not mobile. Even your home phone had a cord, a little curly cord going to it. And when you sat on the phone talking to your friends, you sat by where the phone was. You didn't take it to your bedroom. You couldn't take it to your bedroom. You couldn't leave the room, but I guess the good thing is that hanging up on people was so much more, when you're mad, like you could slam that phone. And nowadays, pushing a button really hard doesn't do the same justice. And so things have evolved, and now our lives are costing more because we need the internet. We need, not only do we have our mobile phones, but we have a home phone and a mobile phone. You want to watch anything of decency on TV, you need to pay for streaming, and even then that's not guaranteed you're going to get something of decency. So back to my story. I got a bit off track there. This person that I know wanted to take out some money so that they could pay for items for themselves. Now, I know that this person has had trouble every single time they have tried to take money out of their investments. And it just seems like every time it takes them, from a day on, just to get some money out of their investments, out of their shares, their stocks. So, they had, I'll be honest with you, I kind of started glazing over, when they were telling me, because I know with trying to withdraw money from cryptocurrency, I have, which I actually did the same day that this person took some money. I took a little bit of money because I wanted to buy a few things out of my crypto. And, excuse me, I actually haven't been well for the last couple of days. So I'm trying to get some water into me. So, this person went to the place where they go, and she couldn't fill in the form. The form was not playing around, playing nice for her. So, she tried to then talk to a person, but was unable to be able to speak to a person. And, 3 hours later, she's still trying to fill out the form to pull out the money out of the investment. I think by this stage, I'd be asking for all my money out of the investment. If it's that hard to get access to your money, your finances, your investments, then there is something wrong with that system. If you need money out of your bank, you should be able to get money. You should have access to your property, your money, your, 24/7. It should be a thing that, otherwise, why are you trusting these people to look after your assets or your finances or your, it's not rocket science, Like, you can go to a bank and put your PIN number in and withdraw your money out. And that's how easy it should be when you're talking about taking money out of investments. That's how easy it should be. Okay? And if you've gotten to a point where you're actually, you've done it before, they've got your details, and, you put in your private code or whatever, like your PIN number or something, then it should be as simple as that. You shouldn't have to verify who you are if you've already verified who you are. So while this is taking this person hours and hours and hours to get access to something that's going to now take 3 to 5 days to hit her bank account or their bank account, I had the money in my account within 30 minutes. This is from my from my cryptocurrencies. I've already verified my bank account and all that sort of thing, and now I'm at a stage where, okay, wow, I really want that. Can you hold this for half an hour or whatever, and I'll come back and I'll buy it. Go into my thing and withdraw some money and come back all, with the money to pay for it all in my bank. So I just don't understand why it needs to take this long with stocks. I mean, I guess that's part of the thing I want to talk about, is that getting money from shares compared to getting money from cryptocurrency seems to be a huge difference. And for something that, shares have been around for such a long time, you would think that they would have such a good system and not be still in the midst of trying to figure it out. Because to me, it just seems like they're still in the midst of trying to figure it out. And then you've got cryptocurrency that's fairly new, like it's still in infancy stage, and it really should be that simple. It shouldn't be. The last time that she took, it's because on her license it had her middle name on her driver's license, and they didn't have her middle name on there. So then it took her a week to verify her, to get them to verify her middle name in the thing. That was the last time she tried to take it. This time she's having more problems. They say, oh no, well, we don't care about your middle name anymore. It's like, well, it feels like a waste of time when you have to keep jumping through hoops, or the guidepost keeps getting moved every single time, just so that way you can access your money. Your money should be your money. Your assets should be your assets. And this is also why I think a lot more people are starting to look at cryptocurrencies, because the guideposts are getting moved all the time when you're in these sort of assets, like your stocks and your shares and that sort of thing. For you to go and buy X amount of shares or stocks or whatever, I mean, there are apps and stuff like that out there, I'm sure of it. I haven't personally looked closely into them, and maybe there is a better solution for this person than what she's doing right now. Maybe there's an app that she can download and connect her shares to them. But the hoops that she's having to go through to access what should be easily done, and has been she's proven herself time and time again to this company. Really, it needs to be a lot more simpler than this, So my thoughts on this is that when you look at that, it really makes cryptocurrency child's play, like easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know, you can, you know, once, and I've done it myself, I've put money in and I've taken it out because I wanted to make sure that I could do it, and I've done it time and time again. So I really think that you know, when you're looking into your exchanges and that sort of thing, and I personally, being in Australia, I find CoinSpot really easy, and there are lots of different ones that you could be in, and I'm not saying CoinSpot is the one you should be in, but, you know, definitely check it out, and I will leave the link below. And if you really are interested in cryptocurrency, have a look. And my recommendation, when you do join exchanges, they are going to want details off you. So make sure that you've got your ID with you, okay? And current ID. Like, you want to make sure that you've got your driver's license or your passport, or and it will have a list of things, but your driver's license probably your easiest bet. So make sure you've got that with you. You need to, when you sign up, you know, and the reason why I say use the link below is because you'll, and I know it's not much when Bitcoin's up at what it is, but you'll get $10 worth of Bitcoin if you join with the link below. So when you go in, make sure that you've got, and don't think that it's going to be, that it's dodgy because it's asking you for your ID. It wants to know their customer, like, you know, it's a centralized exchange. So it has got a, they want to know a few more details off you than what a decentralized exchange will want off you. I will talk about these things further on as we get further into it, but if you really want to join in, go through and enter your details and go from there. My dog's barking. Naughty little puppies. So when you go in, and my recommendations for the your first coins is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those two. I personally say, like, if you're going to, and this is not financial advice, so please don't think that this is. Do whatever you feel comfortable doing, but Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be the less volatile out of the lot. And there are thousands of altcoins out there, and you really need to know what they are or what you're putting your money into, in order to, I guess, you know, like you wouldn't go and buy like a random thing down, you know, like oh, I'm going to go buy some dinners and then just pick up a box of God knows what, and then get it home and hope that you've got dinner, you know, like you do want to do a little bit more research, or, you know, before you enter, and have a look at the other coins in there, you know, like just get a feel for it. You know, there are coins that are going off at the moment, and, you know, I would probably prefer for you to do a bit of research on that before you FOMO in, which E to F, watch it. So don't FOMO in. It's never usually a good thing. So on one, my main thing that I want to mind you, this person who's having all this trouble has asked me, how do I get into this Bitcoin? I'm like, oh, okay. As time goes on, it's gonna become more risky. Okay, if you got in last year, there's a good chance that you're gonna have some great gains, and if you miss out on grabbing those gains before it goes down, you're still gonna have a little bit in your pocket. The further this goes on, the less likely you're going to have anything in your pocket afterwards if you miss out on taking those profits before it goes down. So be careful. BitBoy said something about he probably won't be telling people to jump into Ethereum once it hits 10 grand. And I get it, when Bitcoin went up to 20 after seeing, and mind you, the prices I talk about, I want to just say are Australian dollars because I'm Australian. I know everyone else, when you hear, when BitBoy said, 10 grand, he was talking about 10 grand US, which is probably about 3/4 of what it will be, or 10 grand is the 3/4 of what it is in Australian dollars. So if you're in Australia, you might want to convert that and just see what it is, but when things hit a certain price, there's going to be a chance that it's going to come, when it falls, it's going to come below that, and you need to be a little bit more on the ball. Now, if you're new to the space, which most of you will be if you're jumping in at those prices, this is where people have gotten wrecked in the past, and you will speak to, trust me, if you speak to people and say how you're interested in cryptocurrency and all that, you are gonna speak to one of those people that, or someone goes, oh well, my friend so and so, he thinks he lost a lot of money on in that. And there are many ways that can happen, right? If they got into the market at the end of 2017, just before, they probably FOMO'd in, and then it went down, and then they probably took their money out. Now, Bitcoin went to 26,000 in Australian dollars back in 2017, before it started coming down. And this is where the people that jumped in right at the end, God, don't go into that. You'll lose your money. But had they have left the money in, they would have been withdrawing a 70,000, like now, they would have been withdrawing a $70,000, $80,000 Bitcoin in AUD. So, keep that in mind, that if you do that silly thing of FOMOing in right at the end, be prepared to leave it for a couple of years. Be prepared, and then you are going to find that that investment is not going to be all for nothing. You need to make sure that you do your research don't FOMO in to anything. Anything. Just breathe and look into it. Has it pumped? Is it going, who knows if it's going to pump, Like, yes, Dogecoin at the moment's pumping because Elon Musk is going on Saturday Night Live. Well, that's great, but is that sustainable? Is he going to become part of the Saturday Night Live people and talk about it all the time? No. Dogecoin goes up when a lot of talk happens about it. When Elon Musk tweets about it, when he goes on Saturday Night Live. But it goes back down straight after that, because everyone just jumps in as it goes up and takes their money as it and then it goes back down. And then all those people that jumped in, at the last minute, stand there holding saggy bags. So please, don't FOMO in. Do your research. Know that the longer, the closer we get to September, the more risk it's going to be. And if it's a case of you're getting interested into crypto and this is August, my recommendation is watch the markets. Don't put any money in. Just watch the markets. And learn as much as you possibly can about it. And then when it goes back down, then start putting your money back in. Start putting your money when it's gone down. Right? And DCA, which is dollar cost average. Dollar cost averaging is where you basically put a portion of your wage, or you say, for instance, every fortnight you put $50 in and you put it into it. Warren Buffett is apparently a big fan of dollar cost averaging. So you can dollar cost average in and you can dollar cost average out, which means dollar cost average in, you basically put money in. So say, for instance, you put in money and it's $50. You've put in, the asset is worth $50. You put $50, you got one asset, right? And say it goes up and you put $50 in, but the asset is now worth $100. So you only get half of that asset. So you now own 1.5 of those assets. So instead of it costing you, $50, it's now cost you basically, you average that out. Say it goes down to $25, right? And you put $50 in. So now you own 3.5 of that asset, right? So you get your $150 and you divide it by the 3.5, and that's how much that asset per one has cost you. This is the beauty of dollar cost averaging, is that you can make, if you've FOMO'd in and you've bought at the wrong time, you can actually put money in when it hits the rock bottom, and you can actually reduce the amount of, it's kind of like you kind of reduce the amount over time that you've put into that, and you've gained a bit more. That would be my recommendation. So instead of on an average things costing you this, it's cost you a bit less. And over a period of time, it levels out. Now, when you do it on the flip side, when you dollar cost average out, you then, say for instance, you've made $100,000 and you take out $20,000 and it goes up a bit more. Well, you haven't missed out on those gains, right? You may not have earned as much as what you would have if you had that $25,000 in, but what if it went down? You've just saved $25,000, you know, like you need to work out a good system, and this is where a good exit strategy and entry strategy is great. So dollar cost averaging in, dollar cost averaging out is always a good thing. If you've made money and you're at a good space where you think, you know what, I want to take out 10%. Are you going to be happy with the money that's still in there, or are you kind of wanting, like, you know, if you've got $10,000, you might want to leave it a bit longer. If you've got $100,000, you might want to think, you know, like, can that money, don't be greedy, is what I'm saying. Don't be greedy, but don't take it all out at one go. Just dribble it out to you, dribble it in. So I guess that's kind of my little Dear Diary rant today. Please, if you're really enjoying my presence, like, subscribe, bell button, just down there. Boop, 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 boop. And really have a great day and enjoy the time that we're having right now. It ain't gonna last. We are going to eventually go into a bear market. Look at the volatility. The volatility says it all. Things don't go up 1,000% in the stock market. The stock market is now not volatile, and they don't go into like the full-on seasons that we go into. And that's where I think that you're going to find that once Bitcoin stops pumping these massive gains, and that's when we can say that there is not going to be a bear market. And I think we're a bit away from that yet. You know, full adoption has not happened. Bitcoin is not in every single store out there, you know. And I think when we finally agree on an actual currency, which, let's face it, I mean, the fiat at the moment is not, it's not going to be sustainable for the long term. So we, you know, there is, you know, it's coming up to that 95-year mark where currencies die. So this is where you need to say to yourself, what have I got to lose? You know, like, fiat's losing value left, right and centre. You know, it used to cost $5 for the bag of lollies that now cost you, 5 cents for the bag of lollies that now cost you $5, you know. The lollies haven't gone up, the fiat's gone down. And this is where you need to understand that the value of the dollar is going down. It's not the other way around where the prices are going up. You know, used to, in the 60s, you could buy yourself a house, house and land package for, anywhere between 20 to 40,000. And now that same house is selling for hundreds of thousands. It's not the dollar that it's the dollar that's going down. It's not the value or the cost of things going up. So we are now working harder and longer and more for a devaluing asset that is set to fail. It is going to fail. That I fully believe, fully believe, you know, it, and history repeats, you know. If you look back in history, you can see that every currency before it has failed and a new one has taken its place. So why not this time? Just something to think about. If you've got your comments or some sort of answer to this, or you don't agree with me, that's fine. Love to hear your opinions down there in the comment section. So yeah, I hope to see you coming forward, and I'm yeah, sorry that it's been a couple of days since you've seen me, and I'll make sure that I try and get my content out there. Just unfortunately just wasn't well the last couple of days, and I felt like I drank acid. My throat was like sorry. Anyway, yeah, and also have a look at other YouTubers, you know, BitBoy, Wendy O, beautiful girl, Crypto Lark Davis, gorgeous fellow, well, I'm not a Kiwi, but, you know, or a New Zealander, but, you know, he's my neighbour, you know, over in the NZ there. G'day there, all you Kiwis, or New Zealanders, and yeah, really hope that you're enjoying this time, because I certainly am, and I hope to see you soon, and I hope you're learning heaps. Like, subscribe, bell button, and chat to you soon. Bye bye.